I'm going to move into some low velocity tools now. Low velocity tools are what you'll see on the market today. They use a captive piston to drive the fastener, as opposed to the high velocity or standard velocity tools that use a powder load directly on the fastener to drive it. This particular tool here is from the Star Expansion Bolt Company, which was in Mountainville, New York. Star Expansion Bolt Company, from some of the literatures and things that I've seen online, was in business from the earliest part of the 20th century, and was apparently in business up until the 90s. But they were in powder actuated probably from the 60s through the 70s and maybe into the 80s. Again, there's not a lot of information on that. I'm just piecing together what I do know and taking an educated guess. This particular tool was made for the Bell Systems telephone company. It stamped Bell System right on the tool. Bell System contracted out to a lot of companies to make tools to their specifications. And in the case of powder actuated, apparently they wanted a few more safety features into it besides low velocity. One of those things is the spall guard up here on front, the spall reducer, or spall guard. Is more like a high velocity tool. It does have cutouts here for the channels that I would assume that they would use to fasten to the wall with this thing. It is also like a large spall guard on a high velocity tool, rotatable, so that you have close access to walls. And this particular tool is a 3-inch capacity. I would assume that I've never seen a long tool of a Star in this fashion other than this one, but I would assume that they had marketed some without the spall guard on, probably to general contractors and stuff. The powder loads on these things is 22 caliber, but the loads that it uses are a little different. They fit in a plastic thermal sleeve. And these were marketed by Ramset, and I don't know why these loads, they came with the tool, were marketed by Ramset for a Star tool. The only thing I can assume is that later on, Star got out of the contract, or Bell Systems went to Ramset instead, and that they requested that the loads be usable in their older Star tools. But I don't know, that's just another educated guess. But here is the 22 caliber load, loaded in the plastic, some call breech plug. All right. Now, one of the reasons you would do that is to make sure that they bought your loads. Obviously, if your loads were made in a special plastic sleeve, they just couldn't go down to the hardware and get another load from another company. Another thing that it did for Bell Systems, I did read online, is it kept them from using yellow loads. Bell Systems did not want their employees using yellow loads in this tool. I wish I could find that information again, but sometimes it's kind of hard. I don't remember exactly how I found it. Should start printing this stuff off. I don't remember if they would use a green load in them or not. I'm really not sure of that. But since they probably shot mostly short pins on it, this probably a brown load was all they needed. This tool, like I said earlier, has a whole 3-inch capacity though. And I am going to shoot a 3-inch pin with it. That way I don't damage the piston, nose piece, or buffer. And the buffers, they're pretty brittle at this point in life. So we'll pop this open. First we'll put the pin in. That's what we're told to do, is put the pin in first. And the pin falls out. We'll just grab another one here. These pins, although they're Star, they may have been made for a different tool there. I think yeah, well, nope. They're not snapping in too good. I have another Star tool that the pins actually came out of. We'll get into that later. So like most tools today, you're going to sit here, you're going to press down both hands, and you need to get off. I think I'm sitting on that other pin sticking up. And fire. pretty consistent. Then we'll pull our tool open. And there's our sleeve. I save these sleeves because you never know, someday I might run out of them and need to reuse them. Might want to put a yellow load in it and see what happens. So there is your, actually it's mine, isn't it? Star 656. I also have a Star 655, which is a short tool. Obviously the same type of housing. So we'll get into that later, why tools were made shorter, why this one kicks like a mule, and we'll get into a few other Star tools that I have, and a couple other tools that use a thermal breech plug. As for now, that's it. And you all have a good day.